If you are currently in a bitter relationship, your marriage is just some months or perhaps a few years old, and you are already thinking of divorce, no, not yet. Your marriage can be happy again. I want you to listen to these few words of mine on what I have seen about life and marriage. 1. Marriage is a communion between two forgivers. Look at it this way. That guy and that babe are two total strangers with different expectations, backgrounds, hopes, life, parents, different levels of culture, education, and understanding. The two of you don't know where you have been, don't know where you are coming from. You only met maybe at a party or through a friend, and then there was a magic spark. And then that is how it started. A few months later, you agreed to become husband and wives, and you signed the dotted line. And you said there will be no issues, and you said there will be no disagreement. No, you are joking. You will both offend yourself. You will see things you don't like about yourselves. Many spouses often regret marrying each other, but for different reasons, some will decide to overlook and stick together. That is why I said marriage is a communion of two forgivers. Number 2, second marriages don't often work. If you get divorced in your first marriage, experience has shown that most second marriages don't often work. You divorce your husband because he has a side chick. You then rent a house, which Yoruba call ile mosu. There, you will also become a side chick to another woman's husband. Now, which one is better? To remain in your marriage and work on it, or to become a side chick who destroys another woman's home? Even if you are lucky to have another man and you settle in that marriage, do you know how he will turn out? Experience have shown that most people who walk out of their first marriages, who refuse to persevere, to work, to forgive, to overlook mistakes in their first marriages, don't often get their expectations met in their second marriages. It has always been from fry pan to fire. The best approach is to get it right the first time. If there is any imperfection in your marriage, no matter the level of those imperfections, divorce is not the immediate solution. Number 3, in choosing a spouse, the enduring values are not physical. While physical attraction often play a role in the initial stages of relationship, it is the deeper intangible qualities that sustain a lifelong partnership. Qualities such as kindness, mutual respect, shared values, emotional intelligence, and the ability to communicate openly become the foundation upon which a lasting relationship is built. Physical beauty inevitably fades away, but character endures. The two soldiers standing alert on the chest of that woman will soon fall asleep. The hanging shoulder and the six packs of the guy will soon fade away. Genuine connection arises not from fleeting appearances, but from the spouse's capacity to offer emotional support, empathy, and understanding, especially during challenging times. Number 5, the myth of perfection. Many marriages falter under the weight of unrealistic expectations. We often enter into marriages with the idealized vision of our spouses or of our future. Some women marry just because they want to be seen as married, not because they are ready to marry that man. They get married to the word marriage. For most women, the person they marry is the person in their heart, the ideas they have of a husband, not the physical person standing before them. These are the fantasies they saw on home videos. Oh, he will take me to the beach. We will sit in a sport car and he will be driving me around Lagos. We will travel from Lagos to Honolulu, from Honolulu to Jamaica. Things they saw on home video. He will take me to ShopRite every weekend to watch film. I will be holding his arm this way, and he too will put his arm around my waist there. Wake up, my friend. You are not married to fantasies. The take-home pay of this guy does not take him home. You have to contribute to the food he has to put on that table there. This is the reality of life. You might not get to that beach in 5 years. Wake up. No person is perfect, and no marriage will ever exist without moment of conflict, misunderstanding, and disappointment. This is not a sign of failure, but a reflection of our shared humanity. Instead of striving for perfection, strive for understanding and compassion. A successful marriage is not one without conflict, but one where both parties are committed to working through challenges together. Number 6, don't make a permanent decision over a temporary situation. A few days ago, I was discussing with some two ladies who visited me here. One of them told me that if only she could see far ahead when she was a younger lady, she would have been happily married today. What happened? She was dating a guy in Kaduna, very clean and responsible, but he had a pronunciation challenge. For words like Kushinshia, the guy would say Kusinsia. For words like show, the guy would say so. For this reason, she refused to marry him because her friends were mocking the guy. According to her, she knew deep in her that this guy is a responsible person. This guy will be a very good husband, but she left him for another guy. 5 years later, her marriage collapsed. 15 years later, she saw the Kusensia guy, now a top bureaucrat, speaking flawless English with flawless pronunciation. Now she is the side chick to that man, a man she should have married. This is one of the several mistakes many people make in marriage, making a permanent decision over a temporary situation. Number 7, another common reason is the clingy factor. The new wife is angry that the mother of her husband clings too much to her husband, not giving her space to enjoy her marriage. She is intruding too much, and the clingy cannot make decisions without referring to his mother. Listen to me, young sister. Didn't you notice this before you get married to the clingy? Didn't you know Klingi is the only boy in the family? Didn't you know he's the only son of his mother? Usually Klingis don't pretend it from the beginning. You saw it. You knew Klingi was still eating from his mother's pot, even at age 30. You knew it was his mother who was sewing clothes for him. It was his mother who gave him pocket money. You knew. You and Klingi went to this mother's house to eat those days. The mother endorsed you before Klingi would get married to you. In fact, you were going to that woman's house to wash her clothes, buy her provisions, buy her shoes, buy her clothes, all to get her to endorse your marriage to this Klingi. Now you are trying to change the narrative because Klingi's wedding band is on your finger. Look, stop complaining about what you tolerated. If you fetch the rotten woods, don't complain when the lizard start visiting. Another angle is that if the guy married at age 30, he has known his mother and his family for 30 years. Do you want to break a 30-year relationship? Now, so easy. Now, turn the table around and put yourself in the position of that mother. Can any wife break your son away from you? You are a bad person. Mishionu. Speaking sincerely, couples should avoid their marriages from the third parties. But that does not mean they should cut off their relationship from their families. A wise woman builds her home. This home includes the family. In this part of the world, when a woman marries a man, she is also married to his family. The earlier you, these 21st century girls, understand the reality of marriage, the better for you. While I insist that mothers should not live in their son houses, I still insist that wives should not seek to cut their husbands away from their in-laws. Number 9, be careful with your response. Let me tell you something about communication that most people have not seen. There cannot be two angry people per time in a marriage. When your husband is angry and is boiling, you are very silly. Are you crazy? You silly woman. If the wife kept quiet as the husband was boiling, will the husband slap his wife? It is most unlikely, except that man is a madman. But when the husband says you are silly, and the wife also responds that you too, you are foolish, you are an idiot, you can't do anything, beat me if you think you are a man, you bastard. At that level, you dare him and he will act. I put it to you, my listeners, that the person who caused the beating or escalated the anger into fracas is not the first speaker, but the responder. If there was no response, the matter would have only been limited to angry words. Wives, learn how to walk away when your man is angry and talking. Telling him, if you are a man, beat me, he will beat you. But a wise husband will walk away when his wife is daring him to hit her or locking his shirt. Come and beat me if you think you are a man. The person who escalated an angry situation to fracas is not the first speaker, but the responder. Be very careful how you respond when there is tension in the family. Number 10, hear what was not said. When your spouse complains or expresses anger, it is important to recognize that there is a felt need somewhere. Anger often serves as a mask for feelings of frustration, hurt, and unmet expectation. It's really just about the shouting or the outward display of emotion. Something significant has triggered it. Rather than reacting to the anger itself, partners should strive to uncover the story behind it. What led to this frustration? I will cite some examples for you right now. When a man says his wife is very selfish, what the man is saying is that the wife is not considering him. The wife does not care for him. When a wife says that you don't come home on time, she is telling you that she's feeling lonely or isolated at home. Let us hear what was not said. When both partners commit to understanding each other's feelings beyond the surface level of anger, conflict becomes opportunities for growth and intimacy. Number 11, the choice to fight for your marriage, to believe that happiness is still possible, can be the very thing that transforms the relationship. If you pack up this marriage, are you sure of what happens with the next person you might get married to? Is packing it up the solution? Can you cope with the insult and shame that comes with being a divorcee? Some people will say that there is no marriage in heaven. It's true. And that God is not asking for marriage certificate to allow you in. It's true. But don't you think that if you pack up the marriage, you are injuring the right of your children to be raised in a stable and a happy home? Think about it. If your relationship with your spouse is not life-threatening, I put it to you that no sacrifice is too much for the marriage to continue. Number 12, commitment is a choice and not a feeling. Commitment is not just about staying together for the sake of it, but about choosing to invest in the relationship. Ask yourself, my friend, what is my investment in this marriage? Since you got married to your spouse, in what way has the spouse become a better person? You married her as a school cert. Has she upgraded herself to become a graduate? You married the man as a first degree holder. Have you assisted this man to acquire the second degree? You met him as a creative woman who knows how to cook great food. She has been catering for parties, doing champagne and assorted drink for people. Why haven't you assisted her in registering a company and getting all the catering equipment, tents, coolers, and the chairs for rent? You met your wife selling by the roadside. Till date, she's still selling by the roadside. You met your husband a drunkard. He is still a drunkard till date. Your husband is a salary earner. You have never suggested to him to start a business. All his mates are living in their houses. Till date, you and your husband, you are still a tenant. Listen to me. When you are not making any possible contribution to the life of your spouse, he or she will have no value for you. Your spouse is standing still in a world where everyone is on the run. What a shame. You have not invested in your marriage. Let me conclude. Marriage is not a static institution. It is a living, evolving bond between two people. Like anything living, it requires care, attention, and at times healing. Don't give up on your marriage at the signs of any difficulty. Even when things seem bleak, know that relationship, like individuals, can grow stronger through adversity. Your marriage can be happy again, not by avoiding the challenges, but by embracing them as an opportunity for growth. I believe you have learned something today. If you want to discuss with me, I am available. My numbers are there. Bye.